I'm very honored to be here with Dorothea von Boxberg, who is the Chief Commercial Officer of Lufthansa Cargo. And now we are going to have a short interview together.
Hello.
Hi. So, are you ready?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, then let's get started. My first question to you is, how would you describe success, or what means success to you?
I think success is when you had something difficult that you wanted to achieve and you somehow achieved it. And you do it with a good feeling, so you did it while keeping your values and kind of doing it in a good way.
Okay, thank you. When it comes to management positions, do you think that it is more difficult reaching such a position as a woman?
I think that you often still have men hiring men because it's kind of what they are used to. And so I think what is really helpful for women that want to make a career is to do some kind of coaching, or many companies have also programs for that, to see what the differences in behavior between men and women are. And I think often it's a little bit stereotype, but some of the stereotypes also happen a lot. So for example, if there's a job posting, men look at the job posting and say, aha, 12 things to do, I think 3 I can, hey Chaka, I'm the right man. And women, in the stereotype, look at it, 12, okay, 10 out of the 12 I can, but the last 2 maybe not, so I better don't aspire, or don't put in my name, yeah? And this is very stereotype. Of course it can be quite different, but it helps as a woman to see what these often happening differences are, and then to draw your own conclusions, whether you want to change something or not, but at least be aware of it. Yeah?
And do you think this stereotype we talked of is changing currently?
I think it's something that is quite deeply rooted, so it's not something that changes within a very few years, but I think we will need another 10-20 years to make people aware. But I mean, of course, whenever you've got a woman in a leadership position and you get used to that style, you see that it works, then it of course helps. Yeah, but there's still not so many women in these positions, and many men consider the way women lead as a little bit strange, and so do they think she can really do it? Maybe I'd rather take the male. So I think that's still there.
And how would you describe, let's say, the ideal manager? So what a person should have, like character traits or main characteristics?
I think it depends very much on the position, on the objectives you have for a certain company and so on. So I think it's not so easy to describe it in general. But I think what helps is good judgment. So you need to like to make decisions, because otherwise you leave your company in limbo when they need you. And I think it also helps to have empathy and to be good with people, because in the end, working means doing something together with people, not so much with machines yet. Yeah.
Yeah. And when it comes to the current situation with COVID-19, what were the major issues you faced as a manager?
Well, I mean, as the airline industry, it was of course a huge impact of all those passengers not flying, aircraft grounded, and that meant for Lufthansa that the steering from results orientation went completely to liquidity orientation. So it was a completely different way to steer a business, and that at a time when suddenly everybody was working from home, was not there, and so on. So that was quite tough. On Lufthansa Cargo side, freight is still flying, so our life looks a bit different than the life of the passenger colleagues. And I think the challenges were very much around getting everything to work in such a situation. So we had a lot of discussions around, are pilots allowed to enter China? If not, I mean, we can't fly there. At the same time, can we make sure that they don't get the infection in the early stages when it was in China, and so on. So it was a lot of operational questions. How can we get the whole thing running during the crisis?
And do you think that Lufthansa Cargo actually has the ability to recover completely from this crisis? And how long would you say does it take?
So Lufthansa Cargo really depends a lot on the passenger aircraft. So half of our capacity is on the passenger aircraft bellies. And that means, well, it depends on when Lufthansa altogether recovers. And we think that should be the case in 2024, so 4 years to go. That's quite long. That means it's a very significant shock to the system, actually.
Okay, thank you very much. That was actually my last question for today, and was really interesting interview with you. So thank you again very much.
Very welcome. Thank you.